Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. In Washington, President Biden will hit the road this week to talk about his 3 top priorities. Meantime, Democrats make plans to introduce a new immigration bill this week. We'll tell you what it would do. Here at home, the state is set to ramp up its vaccine distribution with the help of health insurance giant Blue Shield. How they're going to do it, still ahead. And millions in Texas are without power this morning as the state sees temperatures plunge into the single digits, and power providers just can't keep up. Today is Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. Good morning, Kern County, and thanks so much for starting your day with us. It is Tuesday, and yeah, I've been following the winter weather that Texas and so many other states have been seeing over the past few days, and I know it's been absolutely brutal. I have family and friends that have been without power for a majority of the day yesterday. They said it's incredibly cold. Maddie, I know your mom lives in Texas. How's she doing?
Yeah, my mom and my sister, and the temperatures are just something they haven't seen in like 30 years there. And so the roads, the freeways, everything's closed because they don't know how to deal with it. So yeah, hopefully they're going to get some relief soon. Here at home, it felt pretty beachy yesterday, actually. And well, in the mountains, we've just got our heads in the clouds, and they're still there this morning, Kev.
And Maddie's been doing her research. Yeah, Texas hasn't seen these type of temperatures in about 30 years. So very unexpected for them. There is definitely a chill from Texas all the way up into the Northeast. Here at home, it was a mild day yesterday. We had some clouds around the area. We had fog and drizzle out of Tehachapi, which we're also seeing again this morning. Show you the satellite and radar right now, and you can see the clouds still linger. Not looking at any rain today. In fact, these clouds should part ways with Kern County as we progress here throughout the day, and we should see mostly sunny conditions. Outside right now, you can see we've got a few clouds out there, 48 degrees, a light north-northwest wind at 5. Visibility here in the valley good at 8 miles. And here's a look at the hour-by-hour forecast for today. And you can expect to see the upper 50s and, again, clearing as we go throughout the day. The one thing to see here are the winds are still blowing out of the Kern County mountains from Frazier Park over the Grapevine through Tehachapi and the Mojave area, and also 178 heading out near Ridgecrest and into the Lake Isabella area. So definitely still seeing those winds into the Kern County area. We have a wind advisory still until tonight. 7 p.m. That is due to expire, and that also includes the west side of town. Here's what it looks like out of Tehachapi, kind of a remake of yesterday, and we've got a little bit of drizzle and the wind with that. So currently 41 degrees. We've got a west-northwest wind at 14 miles per hour, so if you are going to be heading out, visibility is low. We will continue to see those winds throughout the day. We will see some clearing for you by afternoon, and temperatures expected into the 40s today, so it's going to be a cool one up in the mountains. We'll have a closer look at our forecast coming up in just a little bit, but for now, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. We begin this morning with new details about a heated phone call between Bakersfield Congressman Kevin McCarthy and then President Donald Trump as Trump supporters were storming the Capitol on January 6th. Republican Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler said this week she was briefed on the call and says there was more to it than initially revealed. NBC News reporting the call became heated as McCarthy tried to get the president to call off rioters. A lawmaker briefed on the call tells NBC News, Trump said, "Well, Kevin, I guess these people are more upset about the election than you are." McCarthy responded, "Who the expletive do you think you're talking to?" Trump and McCarthy later patched things up when the two met in Florida earlier this month. We reached out to Congressman McCarthy to ask him about the phone call he had with the former president, but we did not hear back as of news time.
An update now on an airplane that went missing from radar over the weekend while traveling over Kern County. The wreckage of that plane was found yesterday near Tehachapi, about 2 miles west of Tehachapi, Willow Springs Road and Oak Creek. The Kern County Sheriff's Office says the plane took off from Camarillo Airport Saturday and was en route to Mammoth Lakes. KCSO says there were high winds and low visibility when the plane was supposed to pass through Saturday. According to deputies, at least one person is confirmed dead. That person's identity has not been released.
In your 17 Crime Watch this morning, 2 dogs are recovering after their owner says a man attacked the dogs with a hatchet. Owners say it happened in front of the Jack in the Box on Union Avenue in Brundage Lane at about 1:30 in the morning yesterday. They say a man approached them with the weapon. The dogs began to bark at the man, and he started striking them with the hatchet.
We know who the guy is. We've had problems with him before. He's just a local weirdo. And I thought that maybe he pepper sprayed him because he thought all the blood everywhere. I didn't know his blood. You know, I mean, it was orange or red. And then after that, I was just trying to take care of my dogs. I didn't really care about the guy anymore.
In the wake of the attack, several groups stepped up to help, including Brandy Reed with Mutts and Runts Rescue, Don Romery with Unity Thrift Rescue, the LaBelle Foundation, and local nonprofit Bakersfield Positive Connections, raising money for the dog's treatment at Bakersfield Animal Hospital.
Both are doing really well. Everything's been sutured up. The sutures look beautiful. Some x-rays are needed. Blood work looked good. But it looks like they're going to be okay. They have a lot of pain for sure, and some recovery. One of the dogs, the snout was pretty much split in half by the axe. There might be some special needs as far as feeding. Hopefully not, but that's kind of what we're waiting to hear about now.
Owner Jarrett Wold says a report was filed with the Bakersfield Police Department, but right now the focus is on the dog's care. And they're still raising money for long-term care. And if you'd like to help out, we've placed the donation information on our website, kget.com.
5:06 now. Golden Empire Transit's proposing some changes to its routes around Bakersfield, and they're asking for input from riders. GetBus will be holding a public hearing today to get feedback on its proposed route changes to weekday service due to COVID-19. Those changes include discontinuing some trips and changing the frequency of others. The hearing will also include time for public comment on unmet transit needs in our area. It's happening tonight at 5:30. To get details on the proposed adjustments or provide a written comment, we have a link on our website, kget.com. McFarland's new top cop is being sworn in tomorrow. Kenny Williams will officially become the new police chief for the McFarland Police Department. The city's hosting a swearing-in ceremony at City Hall tomorrow starting at 2:30 p.m. Williams worked for the Kern County Sheriff's Office for nearly 30 years before retiring in 2010. He then went on to work for the CSUB Police Department. Chief Williams begins his new job on February 22nd.
Tehachapi Outlets is hosting another Cinema Under the Stars next month. It is a free screening of a Disney movie, plus a night of shopping and enjoying treats from local food trucks, like Pita Paradise and Michelangelo's wood-fired pizza. Tehachapi Outlets says a portion of the food truck sales will be donated to Northwest Basketball. It's happening March 6th. Gates open at 5 p.m. And if you want clues for the movie, you have to follow Tehachapi Outlets' social media page. If you missed out on the chance to get your child caught up on immunizations yesterday, you'll have another chance this week. Adventist Health Bakersfield is holding a free immunization clinic tomorrow in the parking lot of 2800 Chester Avenue. It's happening from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Just don't forget to bring your child's immunization card. It is free for anyone 18 and younger, but call ahead for any child you bring who is older than 5. The number is 869-6740. And there are still more clinics happening the rest of this month. You can find a list of dates and locations on our website, kget.com. From our roadwork file, the connector ramp on Highway 99 that leads to Eastbound Highway 58 is scheduled to close tonight. The connector will be closed between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. for construction. Those traveling in the area will be routed onto Ming Avenue, then eastbound to Union Avenue, and then finally northbound where they will enter the Highway 58 on-ramp. And this week, traffic is scheduled to be reversed on Real Road south of Stockdale Highway because of paving. The change is happening from 7 a.m. till 3:30 p.m. for the rest of the week. Officials say the road work is scheduled to end on February 19th.
From our 17 News follow-up file this morning, it's now been 57 days since 3-year-old Orson and 4-year-old Oren West were reported missing. Now, if you're driving south on Highway 99, you might see this billboard featuring the two boys. The biological family started a GoFundMe account to raise money for the 3 billboards. Within a week, they raised enough for 2, but they need more than $1,000 to put up a third one. They're hoping to put that next billboard up near Tehachapi on the way to California City. If you'd like to donate to help raise money for those billboards, we have a link to their GoFundMe on our website, kget.com. Welcome back here at 5:19. Taking a look at news around the nation now. COVID-19 restrictions are in place in New Orleans for Mardi Gras this year. Mardi Gras celebrations last year are now believed to have contributed to a surge of infections in Louisiana. This year, bars throughout the city were ordered to close starting last Friday, and they'll remain closed for Fat Tuesday. All parades have been canceled and gatherings are limited. Parts of Bourbon Street will also be closed from 7 a.m. to 3 a.m., with the exception of residents, employees, hotel guests, and restaurant patrons.
Winter weather is causing some major problems in places like Oregon, where the roof of a grocery store collapsed under the weight of ice and snow. Take a look at this. It all happened yesterday around noon at a Safeway grocery store in Troutdale. Everyone inside the store at the time made it out safely, and there were no injuries reported. Snow and ice storms that moved through the Portland metro area caused a significant amount of damage, bringing down trees and power lines and knocking out power for hundreds of thousands. In Multnomah County, crews raced to save the floating home listing under the weight of heavy snow and ice. This is the home docked along a river in Portland, and you can see a portion of the home underwater as snow and ice on the home's roof weighs it down. The good news is that the home was unoccupied.
Entertainment news now. NBC premieres a pair of new comedies tonight. Saturday Night Live's Kenan Thompson debuts his self-titled comedy, Kenan, while leading off the night at 8 p.m. Eastern is a comedy about The Rock's younger days, Young Rock. Mark Barger has a preview.
His wrestling career and hit movies have made Dwayne Johnson one of the world's biggest stars.
Sign my chest! Okay, there's a little boy here. I'll sign your chest.
But his new comedy, Young Rock, shows him when he was still a work in progress.
My experiences growing up as a kid all over this country.
Mobility forced by the world of professional wrestling.
The soul man, Rocky Johnson, that was him.
The Rock's dad working in a larger-than-life environment.
It was never Superman or Batman or anybody like that when I was growing up. It was these pro wrestlers who were real life.
But life in that world meant constant transition for Johnson and his parents.
You learn lessons very, very quickly, sometimes hard and harsh, but ultimately really invaluable lessons.
One's played out in the series by a trio of young actors.
I was so happy. I was practically hyperventilating.
Following Johnson through high school.
You look like an undercover cop, like Johnny Depp from 21 Jump Street.
And into college as a football player at Miami.
I wanted to make you look good.
Oh, by telling him I was going to be on a Wheaties box?
Surprise!
You're not really just playing a big superstar. You're playing a real person who lived through real situations.
But the series is bookended by a surreal flash forward. Johnson running for president in 2032.
Today's headlines are tomorrow's punchlines, and you got to try and find a way to laugh at things.
Young Rock hopes to help the cause. Mark Barger, NBC News.
And Young Rock premieres tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by the debut of Kenan with Saturday Night Live's Kenan Thompson.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
In your 17 Business Watch, and with more and more people getting vaccinated for coronavirus, travel is starting to surge. 2020 was the worst year in history for air travel demand. That's according to the International Air Transport Association. Passenger traffic fell more than 65% globally. But with a little light at the end of the tunnel, of the COVID-19 tunnel, people are starting to plan trips. An analyst with TripAdvisor says many people are actively planning trips for later this year and next year. Analysts say now is a good time to book future trips as prices are relatively low and many travel companies have flexible bookings and cancellation policies.
Day traders rocked the financial world when they teamed up and bought fledgling stocks hedge funds that hedge funds were betting on to sell low. Experts are warning people not to jump into the market in hopes of a quick buck. NBC's Dan Sheneman has that story.
Instead of using the market to make money, some investors have used the market to make a statement.
The video game store whose stock has gone to the moon in the last few weeks for no apparent reason.
You're shocked at how much anger. There's almost a nihilism of let's tear down the system.
It has definitely hurt faith in the system.
The mania around day trading in some of these very hotly traded stocks also left a bad taste in the mouth of a lot of our readers. Almost 50%, 45% say they trust the stock market less today than they did 6 months ago.
Investopedia's editor-in-chief Caleb Silver has a word of advice for small investors. stay away from volatile stocks.
Day trading, especially very hotly traded stocks that have a lot of volume and volatility, is a great way to lose a lot of money.
Instead of trying to make a quick buck on the latest hot stock, Silver suggests a different path.
If you stick to your plan, investing for the long term usually pays out. The tortoise always beats the hare when it comes to long-term investing.
And Silver believes this is a good time to re-examine your investments.
So we're at the beginning of the year, a new administration. We've just come off of very big gains from 2020. Now's the time to maybe reset your portfolio and rebalance it so it's in line with your goals and your expectations.
Expectations for slow but steady growth that can result in big profits. Dan Scheneman, NBC News.
President Biden is back in Washington for the moment. He's hitting the road this week, focusing on the pandemic, the economy, and immigration. Tracy Potts has more on the challenges ahead as Biden tries to get Republicans and Democrats on the same page.
Good morning, Maddie. Good morning, everyone. The COVID relief bill is still the big issue here in Washington, and some of the money in that bill would increase subsidies, money to help people who buy their insurance through the Affordable Care Act. The Biden administration, due to the pandemic, just reopened enrollment in the middle of the year. President Biden heads to Milwaukee today, his first official trip out of Washington since taking office. He'll answer questions at a town hall, sure to focus on the COVID pandemic.
I know we'll get through this. I know better days are ahead. And if we do it together, as one people, one nation, one America, we will not fail.
But even with new cases and death rates improving, there are serious challenges. New variants of the virus have popped up in 41 states. Governors, Democrat and Republican, are raising concerns about the vaccine rollout. The White House responding last night that they're working to improve data and reporting. Then there's the COVID relief bill.
We're going to have to talk to each other. Compromise is not a dirty word.
Democrats are writing up their plan for a vote next week, hoping to get some Republican lawmakers to support it.
It has support of Republican mayors, Republican governors, but more importantly, it has support of 50% of Republicans in this country, 46% of Trump voters in this country.
Next up, immigration. Democrats announced last night they'll introduce a bill later this week that creates a path to citizenship for 11 million undocumented immigrants, make it easier to apply for asylum before reaching the border, and expand benefits for dreamers. The president's still on the road on Thursday. He'll be in Michigan visiting a Pfizer vaccine manufacturing plant. On Friday, he's meeting virtually with world leaders, the G7 summit focused on the pandemic. I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.